All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I wanted to give you guys a update video on the whole 800-pound bench press controversy that happened this past weekend. There's been some new developments. The director of that meet has spoken out since then. And Julius Maddox, the man who attempted the 800 pounds, has put out his own statement regarding the event. So I wanted to go over those things. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about and you guys didn't see my last video, there was this big bench press meet. It was live streamed on ESPN, probably the biggest platform that powerlifting has ever had. This 800-pound raw bench press world record attempt was the main focus of this meet. It was the main reason this was happening. It was the main reason it's on ESPN, the main event, the title card, the whole reason it happened. And this was the biggest mistake of the entire event as well, because during this 800-pound bench press attempt, the bar was misloaded. The incorrect number of plates was loaded on the bar for an 800-pound bench press world record. Too many plates on one side, not enough plates on the other. So if you guys have not yet seen that clip, I'm going to show you guys right now and catch you guys up. So watch this clip here.
Give it time. Reset. Come on, Q, you got it. Make this right. Reset. Make it right. That's right. It's a play off. That's a play off. Wow. Okay. Blow shit out, homie. Fucking weight's not right. Holy shit. You can't do that shit. That's fucking stupid. Right. 1 minute? Give him more than a fucking minute. What the fuck? And we were misloaded. It happens. Enjoy your life. At that weight? Come on, man. Come on, dude. You got it.
All right, so that's what happened. So the man that you saw attempting the 800 pounds in that video, Julius Maddox, he put out his own statement. So during this bench press, during this misload, he suffered an injury, and he talks about it in the video that he posted on Instagram. He basically says he tweaked his pec, he tweaked his back. He doesn't really say the extent of his injuries, but those injuries were the reason why apparently he didn't go for a third attempt at the 800 pounds. So first attempt, 722, he did that fairly easily. Second attempt, he went straight for the 800 pounds. So there were kind of 2 second attempts. On the first attempt was when he realized the bar was misloaded, and they gave him another go at that second attempt. So technically, he only took 2 attempts and skipped the third because of this injury that he sustained. So go ahead and watch Julius's video right here.
What's up? I just wanted to jump on here and let everybody know that I'm okay. Just been hanging out with the family and friends. We recently got home from a 6-hour drive, more like a 7-hour drive. I do feel like I've been hit by a truck, tweaked my pec, tweaked my back due to the meet this weekend. But I'll jump on here this week and do a meet recap and, you know, give you guys my thoughts on the meet and what we're gonna do leading forward. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just want to jump on here and let everybody know I'm okay. Very tired. Woke up this morning with my right side, my right arm, right hand swollen. I don't know if it's due to, you know, that amount of weight just strain on my body, but I'll catch up with you guys.
So that's what Julius had to say. Now the meet director. So this is the USPA guy. So essentially, he gives his take on a lot of the things that happened at this meet. He did a 2-part series on his Instagram. He did 2 IGTV videos. His name is Cody Robbins, or New Egro is his @ on Instagram. And he basically, in part 1, he kind of addresses a lot of other issues that people pointed out with the meet. There are a lot of criticisms that people had as far as the way that things went down, aside from the misload. So if you guys want to watch part 1, I'd recommend that you go to his Instagram page and watch that. But in part 1, he doesn't address the misload itself, which is what I want to address in this video. He does address it in part 2 of his response here. So that's what I want to get to in this video. So before I roll that video for you guys today, I just want to give my take on it. So I watched both videos, and I liked a lot of what he said, and I disliked some of what he said. So the thing that I liked is that he said he wants powerlifting to be on a bigger platform. He wants it to be on a bigger level, like bodybuilding and strongman, get bigger coverage, bigger money, have pro athletes that can train for powerlifting and have that be their full-time job. He wants powerlifting to explode and get all this exposure. I agree with that. I think that would be fantastic. That's what I want to see for powerlifting as well. But that being said, that will never happen if world record attempts like this have errors like this on national TV, worldwide TV. This is ESPN. If you get your big break, you're finally on ESPN, and the main event, the 800-pound bench press, they don't load the correct number of plates on the bar, they're not going to take powerlifting seriously. It's a safety risk, it's a legitimacy issue, and overall it makes powerlifting look unprofessional, the opposite of how we want it to look. So I agree with him that while this was nobody's intention, he's right. I mean, we're all human, people make mistakes, and at the end of the day, this was a mistake. This was an error, and people make mistakes. But that being said, as many people were in the room there, someone should have caught this. Someone counting those plates, someone looking at that bar, a professional from the organization should have caught this. And I do want to point out that he says in his video he is the head judge. So I wanted to point out that Ed Cohen, who was advertised to be the head judge, was not actually the head judge. In fact, Ed Cohen put out his own statement kind of disassociating himself from being the head judge, saying, I wasn't a real judge, I just sat next to the real judge on the opposite side of the misload. So Ed Cohen was just kind of there because he's Ed Cohen and he's a legend. So Ed Cohen wasn't the man actually responsible for this, so a lot of people made that mistake and that confusion. So Ed was apparently sitting next to this guy. So, like I said, I like a lot of what he said. I dislike a lot of what he said because in part one, he addresses a lot of the other issues, like I said. And while addressing them, he talks about things related to ESPN, saying a lot of things were rushed, a lot of things were sped up. There were a lot of things he didn't know. And because ESPN was this outside influence, they had control of a lot of things that typically the meet director would have control of. There were a lot of last-minute changes, a lot of things that ESPN made them do or told them to do that they weren't aware of until like the day of. But at the end of the day, and again, I'm not blaming this guy for anything, but a lot of it came off as excuses. I mean, like I said, this is ESPN, this is your big break. And in my opinion, if you're going to have something like this on ESPN, and there's a lot of factors that you can't control, and you think things are being sped up, and you think things are being rushed, and you think there's things that aren't being done correctly, or things that are unfair to the athletes, I think it's your responsibility to then not have the event. I mean, he talks about things like the start time was changed at the last minute and the athletes had to start early. If things like that are happening, I think at what point do you have to say, okay, we're going to be on live TV. We can't do this if we think there's going to be mistakes or if we think it's going to be unfair to the athletes. Now, I know that's a tough call to make, and I know it's something easy to say. But if you've got all these things that you can't control and you think it's being sped up and you think it's being rushed and you think it's not going well, then maybe just don't do it if you don't think you can do it right. Now, again, I don't want to overly criticize because I did like the overall message of this guy's video, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. I want you to get both sides of the story. And like he said, everybody makes mistakes. I did see some conspiracy theories in my last video. This was kind of a hit job on Julius to make sure he didn't break the record. I don't really believe that for a second. I think it's an interesting conspiracy, but I honestly do believe it was an accident. But that being said, I don't think there should be accidents like this happening. You can't have an accident like this when this is your big break on ESPN, especially for a world record attempt. I think it is unacceptable. And honestly, I'll play you guys his video. And he says he apologized to Julius man-to-man, and they both understood that mistakes happen. But I think, the organization, I think both organizations, USPA and World's Ultimate Strongman, should issue a public apology to Julius Maddox for screwing this up, even though mistakes happen. And if Julius Maddox is actually seriously injured, if he has a pec tear or something, I think that they should be offering to pay for the rehabilitation and to fix that injury, because here you have the best bench presser in the world injured at your event because of incompetency of someone employed or hired for your event. And I'm sure, whatever waivers were signed, like a typical powerlifting meet waiver, waiving all liability. But in a situation like this, Julius, like I said, he's the best bencher in the world. If he was seriously injured and he does need medical attention, I think not only should there be a public apology, there should be some compensation for whatever medical bills he does have. That's just my personal feeling. Again, I don't know the extent of Julius's injuries. I don't know how serious it really is. But if it was a serious injury and it was sustained due to this misload and due to the incompetency, again, we all make mistakes, but incompetency on the part of the person that was bringing in Julius. Like, they wanted Julius there. He was the big attraction. He was the big draw. They needed him to be there for this to be on ESPN. If Julius wasn't there, this would not have been on ESPN. That's the fact of the matter. That's the reason this was on TV. So to have basically a celebrity like Julius and to essentially treat him like that, I think he deserves a public apology at the bare minimum from both organizations. But I'm going to go ahead and roll that clip for you guys here. This is the Meet Director's response to the Julius Maddox situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. And here's that clip for you guys right here.
A couple other things that happened was the misload. Obviously, that is something that no meet director, no head ref, and no spotter and loader, and no lifter ever wants to happen. I've had, been maxing and been in meets and had a misload. I'm sure many other people have run across it. It's something we don't wish upon anybody, but we're humans. We make mistakes. We do have a program for all those that don't know. We had multiple screens, and they showed all the plates and color code, also with the kilograms on there. I checked it. Spotters and loaders checked it. I checked every weight that day. It just so happens that one red blended in my eyesight and happened to be everybody else. The side judge checked all the weights, both side judges all day. And we had, if I could describe it, ESPN didn't want to show the spectators there for their own reasons with COVID and so forth. There was a lot of people behind me. I normally don't ref a meet or host a meet with people surrounding like this, but because of what it was, there was a lot of people there, and there was a lot of high-end lifters, a lot of big benchers in the crowd. Nobody, unfortunately, saw this in time. And once again, this is live TV, so we're doing things, and we're trying to be efficient, but we're trying to be precise, and we made an honest mistake. He unracked it. He realized we caught it with him. We brought it back in. He walked away. Obviously, he was upset. I don't blame him at all for that. This is something that he's worked very hard for, and this was his entire goal to do this here. And he walked away. He started walking back after we corrected it and we found out what was wrong. He looked at me and just was giving me the look of, can I go to the platform? And I said, yep. So he walked up. There was no rushing or anything like that for him. He walked up as he asked me if he could. He sat back down on the platform, and then he proceeded to lift. I saw some comments about people saying we grabbed the bar too soon. I was there. I was head reffing. The spotters and everybody did an excellent job. He went to bench. It came up fast, and I think it came up so fast he actually started shifting it back like he should, but too far back, and it started going towards his face. We grabbed it in time. I'm not sure if he had an injury or a strain because it shifted back with that weight or what, but at that time, we caught the bar, we brought it back up, and his pec was not feeling well. After that, I talked to him. I apologized to Julius face-to-face. We had a discussion. He understood. Obviously, he was upset about the situation, as anyone would be, but he did understand what was going on, and he was okay. As far as where we left the conversation, that, hey, things like this do happen, especially being this high stress of a meet and on live ESPN. I mean, that just added pressures that nobody can be involved with. So we encountered a lot of things. One other thing was the T-shirt under Julius' singlet. The lifters had a hard time walking through like they normally would to get on the platform because there were so many people there. I couldn't even see Julius walking up to the platform without a shirt on. Per the rule book, not having the right attire can be a minor infraction. It is to be told to the lifter, and he is given an opportunity to fix that and come back to the platform and lift, and that's what happened. He did his opener attempt of 722. He did not have an undershirt on. He just had a singlet, and we asked him to put a shirt on because that is our rule. He came back for a second attempt with a shirt on. So hopefully that clears that up. Stuff like that tends to happen every now and then at meets. A lifter will come up to deadlift, won't have deadlift socks on. He forgot to put them on. Or something to that magnitude. It's a minor infraction. We asked the lifter to fix it. They did fix it. They came back appropriately, and that's how we handled that, just like it should have been. Any other thing I can kind of think of is, I really want people to understand that we set out to do this because this was a huge opportunity for the sport. With this level of magnitude and all eyes on, it's easy to assume things. It's easy to pick out the negatives and not the positives. And I understand everybody for doing that. And I'm trying not to take things personally. And I'm hoping that this message gets across in that manner that, hey, this guy was doing this for the right reasons. He was making the best decisions that he could at the time, and he was looking out for the lifters, the safety, and he was trying to make the sport take it to another level. And that's what I want everybody to kind of take away from this. Obviously, mistakes were made in some parts, some judgment calls because of the decisions and the pressure and the time frame that we had to do things. It's a learning experience. As we get more comfortable with working on TV, those types of issues that were TV related, production related, things that we've never dealt with before, we've never had to encounter before, those things will be smoothed out. As far as the pre-planning, I've done so many meets, and this one was different. I don't anticipate having issues like this ever again, because normally I'm in control of a lot of the issues that happen that I wasn't in control of this time. But once again, it's a learning experience, and there's certain things that need to be double checked, that need to be triple checked, and just know the staff here and USPA and myself take pride in what we do. We have a lot of integrity for the sport. We're all lifters. Some of us, at a higher level than others, but we love the sport. We love the community. We love what it stands for, and we are just trying to do the best that we can to get the sport recognized, to get us on a level that bodybuilding's on, that strongman is on. We want to have real professionals do this, people that don't do anything else, that this is their job. We want to give opportunities and put people in positions that they never have. And that's the ultimate goal behind all of this. It's not to appease one person or anything like that. This is a sport that we do for the lifters. We are lifters. And we want everyone to be successful. We want the sport to be successful. We don't want drama. We don't want negativity. We want positivity. We want growth. Like I said, this is an experience like no other. At the end of the day, a lot of positiveness came out of this. I know, I'm looking at a lot of negative stuff, and from my perspective, that kind of stuff hones in on me, and I feel really bad about some of the things that happened, like the misload. Was something I felt really, really bad about. I mean, I was checking all the weights myself also. And for me to miss that on that attempt is, it's hard to accept.